In this video, we discuss about the market failure. Market failure arises when the outcome of an economic transaction is not completely efficient, meaning that all costs and benefits related to the transaction are not limited to the buyer and seller in the transaction. What is market failure? Market failure arises when the outcome of an economic transaction is not completely efficient. The output of the economic transaction is not completely efficient. That means all costs and benefits related to economic transaction are not limited to the buyer and the seller in the transaction. An individual consumer will often purchase goods with an environmental component to make up for their inability to directly purchase environmental goods, thus revealing the value they hold for certain aspects of environmental quality. The individual consumer decided to purchase an environmental good. That means an individual can't able to purchase an environmental good directly. The value of that environmental good is to be measured on the basis of the quality of that environment. For example, someone may buy a cabin on a lake. An individual decided to buy a cabin on a lake in order to enjoy not only the home itself. He decided to buy a cabin on a lake, not only the purpose of home, but also he wants to enjoy the lake's pure environment. If the individual could exclusively capture the environmental benefit that resulting from owning the cabin, the demand for cabin would reflect the full value of both home and environmental good it provides. The demand for cabin includes the full value. That means the value of home. Home means a cabin on a lake. And the environmental good. Environmental good means a pure lake. That is environmental good. And the market for cabin would be efficient. The market for cabin would be efficient. Unfortunately, in the case of environmental goods, markets often fail to produce an efficient result because it is rare that any one individual can incur the full benefit as well as the cost of a particular level of environmental quality. That is because environmental goods commonly suffer from the presence of externalities. There are two types of externality. What is the term externality? There are two types of externality. Externality means there's a common suffering of environmental goods. Positive and negative. Negative externality exists when individuals bear a portion of the cost associated with a goods production without having any influence over the related production decisions. Negative externality exists when individuals bear a portion of the cost associated with a good production. That means the cost associated with production without having any influence on the production decision. For example, parents may have to pay higher health care cost related to pollution-induced asthma among their children because of increased industrial activity in their neighborhood. Okay. Producers do not consider those costs to others in their decision. The producers do not consider this cost. This cost means health related cost related to pollution induced asthma, the health care cost. The producers do not consider the health care cost to take decision making or to take the next decision. As a result, they produce more goods with negative externality than is efficient. which lead to more environmental degradation than is socially desirable. This is the best example of the negative externality. The parents have to pay higher healthcare costs to pollution induce asthma among their children because of this increasing industrial activity. But the producers, they are not bothered about the healthcare costs related to this disease. As a result, they take the next step for the improvement of the company or improvement of the industry. As a result, they produce more and more negative externality producing goods, which leads to environmental degradation. It is not good for society. That is the negative externality. The next one is the positive externality. What is positive externality? Positive externality also result in inefficient market outcome. Inefficient market outcome. However, goods that suffer from positive externality provide more value to individuals in society. Positive externality provide more value to individuals in society than is taken into account by those providing the goods. It provides more value to individuals. An example of a positive externality can be seen in the case of college roommates sharing an off-campus apartment. Though a clean kitchen may be valued by all the individuals living in the apartment, a clean kitchen is a must for all. The person who decided to finally wash the dishes and scrub the kitchen floor is not fully compensated for providing value to all the roommates. The person who decides to finally wash the dishes and scrub the kitchen floor is not fully compensated for providing value to all the roommates. Because of that decision to clean the kitchen undervalue the benefit of such an action, and the kitchen will go under clean more often than is socially desirable. A cleaning of kitchen is a positive thing, but they are not ready to clean the kitchen after their activities in the kitchen. They decided to clean the kitchen after some time. Up to that time, the kitchen will go uncleaned. It will make some socially undesirable effect. Such is the case with environmental quality because markets tend to undervalue goods with the positive externality. Markets tend to undervalue goods here. The undervaluing that means because of that decision to clean the kitchen, undervalue the benefit of such an action, and the kitchen will go uncleaned. The kitchen will go uncleaned more often than is socially desirable. Because market tend to undervalue goods with positive externality, market outcome provides a level of environmental quality and is lower than is socially desirable. A market outcome provides a level of environmental quality to improve the environmental quality and reduce the social disadvantages or social demerits, reduce the social demerits lower than the socially